Whoops.
We're live, buddy. We're live,
Hi,
buddy.
everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Whee!
Oh, yeah.
Impassioned
Nothing like a
pleas.
little Psycho Sid and Jim Ross to kick off the episode. Run it again.
Maybe today's episode we'll talk about should the impassioned pleas have started earlier. Also, we're welcoming aboard a couple of new Red Wings. Well, I guess they've been there's ties to the organization, but now it's real. Now it's real.
Still real to me,
So we'll
damn
talk
it.
about, of course, Lombardi and Tim Biakabatuka's son, Jeremy, getting the tryout. We'll talk about that in a wee bit because, Mike?
Matt? Looks like Tank's back on the menu, boys.
I really thought, like, I made this. I was so tickled by it. I was like, this is going viral for sure. But I still appreciate the 40 likes. I love you guys.
Yeah, I saw you share it multiple times, so I could tell how proud you are of a tweet by how many times you retweet yourself. So, Matt, I know that you wanted more of a popski for this, and I just want to put it out there that I greatly approve of this Lord of the Rings meme. So, thank you, man.
Well, it wasn't just the losing, right? I think I've got queued up here. Since we last recorded, the Red Wings have a total of 3 goals.
Somebody's been listening to Red Wings Rant. Yeah.
5-1 loss to Pittsburgh, a 6-1 loss to Dallas, and a 3-1 loss to Carolina.
Derek Lalone and Iserman are on Redbird 1, listening to Red Wing Rant. Love it. Appreciate it. This is great. Oh, and just for a quick tease, you guys, in just a few slides, Matt has cobbled together arguably my favorite slide of this entire season. Oh, it's so easy to read, and it's not hopeless like I thought things were a couple of days ago. Oh, I can't wait to get this slide number. Number 3, but we don't have to jump the gun.
I think we're on slide number 4 right now. I had to skip ahead. Anyway, reason for any of you podcast listeners to hop on over to the YouTube. Of course, youtube.com/Red Wings Rant. All right. So here we are. Oh, I can shrink this down. I forgot we learned that. I can make little tiny slides so everybody can see our face. Yeah, losing just out of it's exactly what you wanted, Mike. We're a week removed from me telling you how great it feels when we beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just a drubbing. But I will say, kind of, I want to like take back a little bit, and you know, you said it last week. You're like, no, just tank it up. There's no good feelings. They're fleeting, and let me tell you, Mike, it is.
Tell me.
There's no good feelings left over from that victory over the Maple Leafs. So I feel like a child who said a dumb thing, and I let my emotions get the best of me. And I you know what? Sometimes that's okay for sports. But Mike, we're trying to build a winner here. So let's put fun in the back seat. All right. This isn't fun. I don't spend an hour putting slides together because I'm ready to have fun.
Yeah,
I do it.
You like having fun in the back door. All right, man.
I do it because we don't have Carter Mazur's contact information.
Gotcha.
Some of you know what that's in reference to.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, you would know whether or not you're a fan of our rival podcasts. But, you know, of course, we'd love to have Carter Mazur on the show.
I would say, Matt, these losses are exactly what we need right now. This is an important time in Red Wing history to lose. And I love that we defeated Toronto. I kind of get it now. Joe Diamond acknowledging the backdoor fun. See, everybody knows. Because you know what that was, Matt? When we thought, my God, you know, we're part of this, you know, that 5-game winning streak when maybe things are finally coming together. And we had those games against Tampa that just totally put everything off the rails and we collapsed. It was right around then too when we had a sobering defeat to Toronto. So I feel like that win was a little bit of a receipt that you helped end this season. You helped make it irrelevant. So we're still gonna just spank your bare bottom here.
Your bare bottom, back, and balls.
Back and balls, but we're still on the Tank Express. And things are really starting to cook, and I'm really liking this, Matt, and I'm really liking our odds here to move up.
Dan B, it should have been the Detroit Griffins the past month. The nice little eye roll emoji. Let's
Dan
go,
B,
says
you're
Righteous.
preaching to the choir, brother. Preaching to the choir.
May 8th will be the next dud. Damn
Righteous,
it, Righteous.
you forgot the E at the end of dude. When Connor Bedard is the next dude. Can't wait.
Jared thrown in there. I was not sober during that loss, Mike. All right. Well,
If
I mean,
you're tuned into this program, I don't think you're very sober. So welcome aboard, Jared.
We all need our medicine. For me, I got a 4-pack of Crumble cookies. I wish they were a sponsor. Crumble cookies, come aboard. I will eat. I will just a full hour podcast, shovel them into my mouth. Mike, this week they've got that peanut butter chocolate. It's got the peanut butter frosting with a little mini Oreo on top. And then it's got peanut butter chips in it. They've got the cinnamon roll cookie with cream cheese frosting. And what was the other one? Oh, and I love cookie butter. And they have the cookie butter lava.
Do they have the strawberry Pop-Tart? That's one of my favorites.
They have strawberry cheesecake this week. So I actually went 2 peanut butter chocolate, cinnamon roll, cookie butter. And if you're smart, when like me, I have 2 kids, obviously, 2 kids and a wife. Yeah. You get 2 cookies that only you want.
Wait, 2 kids and a wife? I had 2 wives and a kid. I can't.
Oh, wait. Is that right? 2 wives? What state
Scratch that, reverse it. Anyway, go ahead.
Right.
I will say I'm a little concerned about your health. They bring in crumble cookies occasionally at my work, and we have a little cookie cutter to quarter them out. And it sounds like Matt is eating multiple cookies on his own instead of parceling them out for later.
They might be 1,000 calories each.
A bite.
No, I think it's. I think I doubled up. I think they're 500 calories or like just above. It's like you could have a Big Mac or a crumble cookie. And honestly, right now, those 2 things might be my favorite things to eat. Like if I knew calories weren't an issue, Big Mac and crumble cookies for dessert, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Have you reached out to the magicians
McDonald's?
Working at Crumble to see if they could make a Thousand Island poppy seed all beef patty American cheese cookie?
I'd be all over that. Oh my god! Don't get me started.
But we do got to talk some Red Wings here.
Yeah, Danimals looks like we'll end up with the 9th pick.
Oh, there's my favorite slide, you guys. I teased it. This is my favorite. Oh, you guys, look at this slide. This is gorgeous. Matt, blow this up.
Got it. See, now but you're missing all that important information down at the bottom. I'm kidding. So what Mike's calling out here, the 2023 NHL Draft Lottery odds, which is going to feature everyone right now that's involved in play, and it shows the percentage chance that your team or any team that you want to look at is going to land a specific pick. So that means for the Red Wings, it shows what are our chances of landing the 1st pick, the 2nd pick, the 9th pick, 10th pick, and 11th pick. Yes, we could scale back, ladies and gentlemen. But Mike, did you want to? This is your favorite slide. I feel like I should turn it over. I should hand over the reins.
No, it's just that it's so much more bananas than what the NBA allows, where you can kind of. Unfortunately, it's to the detriment of the teams that stink. Like our beloved Pistons. You can be the worst team in the league, which we are, and drop all the way to 5. But like the teams in the lottery, they have better odds, and they can move up a little bit more than you can in hockey.
Yeah.
But I just really actually having the number out there, I think it makes me feel a little bit better because it felt like 0, and now I know there's a 10% chance that we could get one of the first or second picks, and it's not
I
that
think
wild.
I think this should also paint a better picture for everyone. Like the question is that we were asking right from the. Actually, this is funny. Jared threw out there handing over the reins, and I thought the Roman reigns. Jared, we're on the same wavelength because Jared threw out there the Roman reigns. But yeah, I think this paints a better picture too for anybody that's missing it. Again, head on over to the YouTube, so you guys can consume this with us because we're not doing as poorly as Philly, Arizona, Montreal, San Jose, Chicago, Anaheim, or Columbus. We don't deserve a better shot at the first pick than them. Right?
Right.
Right. So we're right in this realm where we should be. We're really the only thing we can gain 1 percentage point going from, and I don't know if we've even actually said it. We have a 5% chance of landing that first pick, a 5.4% chance of landing the second pick. Are those great odds? No. But, and again, I'm talking either strictly with 1 game remaining, what could we possibly do? Or if you look at the full 82 game spread, what makes sense? Well, yeah, being in this realm of like going up to 6%, which is where the Washington Capitals sit. So we'd have to lose. Washington would have to win their next game, which bit of research here, we can figure out who they're playing. But that's where we should be. Vancouver's also right there with us. I would argue we should probably have worse odds than Vancouver. But hey, we're doing the right thing, right? Like strategy. Nailed it. So we're at the 5%. Like think about dropping, right? And again, it's the main driver, the main point I want to drive here is that this leap from 5% to 6%, it's not that great. You can leap from 5% to 6.5% if we were in the Philly range. Not that great. Going to Arizona range, 7.5%. I would take it. No problem. If somebody said, would you rather have this percent chance of landing the first pick? Sure, why not? I'd take it. But it's not going to make that big of a difference in the grand scheme of things. So I'm going to say mission accomplished. We're right where we should be. We are who we thought we were.
Danimal's bringing up most important comment of the chat so far. Washington playing those dirty, dirty Devils. Man, do we need the Devils to rest up for the playoffs and let Washington take that game? That would be awesome. Yeah.
New Jersey, Carolina going for number 1 in the division. So New Jersey's probably going to play their nuts off against a Washington team that has nothing to play for. Justin bringing up a great point of conversation, praying for the New York Islanders to lose their last game. And Jared, we are in the same lane here again, because Jared throws out there, I'm torn. If the Isles win, the Pens are officially eliminated. Going back to the conversation of making a huge lick of difference, we're talking the difference of 1 pick here, ladies and gentlemen. We could get the Penguins eliminated from the draft, and it's only a 1 pick difference, right? And what I mean is, like Pittsburgh's draft pick, what can you win, right? Like 2% chance to go up to the 4th pick. So here's my point. I would much rather eliminate. I'm going to say it. This is my take. I would much rather eliminate the Penguins. I still hate Sidney Crosby. I still hate the Penguins. Knock them out of the playoffs. Bye-bye. Their fans have to deal with having just given huge contracts to Malkin and Letang. Like, good luck trying to make that work.
I understand.
And the trade-off
teams that we want to lose. I'm not ready, man. I'm not ready.
You would rather the Islanders lose.
I'm so focused on the somehow the Capitals winning their last game. God, that would be nice.
But it's getting, since we have the Islanders pick, it would be increasing an odd to win the draft lottery because you're adding that 2%. So that would feel good. Like I would take it if it was offered to me, but I don't think it's a grand enough.
Where would the Islanders potentially drop to? That Islanders pick.
In that Pittsburgh, Calgary, Nashville range.
So it has no shot of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe if they win the lottery, it goes to the number 1 team.
Ugh.
Right.
If they win, it doesn't mean that they get the number 5 pick. It just means it's basically for naught.
I would have said that they get that pick, but the number 1 pick, you'd fall in line. Right?
I like that it's purposefully very confusing so that you'll be angry, but maybe less angry when you win.
Yeah. But you see how the Red Wings, this is how you figure this out. See, the Red Wings could still fall back 10 and 11, right? We could fall back to the 11th pick. So what you need to think about is if Pittsburgh won, they're going to leapfrog over us and push everyone back, right? So we have that shot to drop back to 11, but that would mean teams behind us, both teams would have to win the draft lottery, like win the drawing for the 1st and 2nd pick. Of course, again, Pittsburgh would be moving to the 4th pick or the 5th pick. Does that make sense? And then we would drop back again if they won. So another thing to think about, you have that pick. Not that I'm saying you wouldn't take that huge leap. But it's not like there's actually a loss to the Red Wings pick that they take a bit of a hit, so they drop back a pick. But I'm just saying, yes, you're right. This is confusing as hell. This should not be this difficult. There should not be a draft lottery. If you suck, you should just get the 1st pick. This is so ridiculous. The NHL being the worst league. Again, always. I shouldn't say again. Always. Always and forever. But yeah, the question is, would you rather the Islanders won tonight and officially knocked out a team I hate? Like maybe if you're a younger Red Wings fan, you don't feel the hate and you're like, that's ridiculous. Give me that Islanders draft pick for another lottery hit. Or, have the Islanders lose, Penguins win, or Islanders win tonight and it's all over. I'm rooting for the Islanders.
What's it'd be fun if we didn't have to worry about all this math and like performance artists saying I'm getting tired of no playoffs. Yeah, I'd like to be able to do that math. How many points we need to boost our seeding in the playoffs.
And I think Joe and Jared confirmed it's like 2-1 right now. Oh, Justin also 7:55, 2 minutes removed. It's 2-1 still. All right, nice.
Yeah. Well, still got a little bit of time. One last game to really tank it up. And my God, should that absolutely be a loss tomorrow? Woo! There's one other game I thought I was going to bring up to you, Matt, but I don't think I can find it. You know what? I was going to ask you a silly question. Today is that silly basketball league is doing a play-in tournament. Does that wiggle your noodle at all to have an NHL version of that where the teams on the cusp get to, the poopy teams get to, see if they can squeak in as the last seed to get destroyed?
It'd be fun. I think like more meaningful hockey is better for any sport, right? I've just been listening to the Athletic Hockey Podcast talk. They spent like an entire episode going over how many teams have won the President's Trophy and have completely embarrassed themselves in the playoffs.
Ooh, we did that.
Right, we have. Begging the question, like, how much should the regular season actually mean? Or like, is there a way to increase that? I don't think there is. I think there's just teams who are going to dominate, and the regular season is always just going to be, it's going to be just the regular season. So what I would do, eliminate some of these dumb regular season games and have a play-in. Give me hockey that matters. Like there's hockey that matters right now, but we're also talking about the Islanders playing the Canadiens. If this isn't a multi-goal victory for the Islanders, doggies. You know what I mean? Like it's a big game, but basically you're looking at one team is like, ooh, we're just gonna play spoiler. And then the other team, could make it in the playoffs, which is huge. Or you have those games, and on top of that, you have your playing games. Any sport. I don't. What are we talking now? We have baseball, basketball, and then the NFL is already doing extra wild card games, which to me feels like playing games. And the NHL is like, no, we're working on our Excel spreadsheet for who can win the draft lottery right now. So you guys just leave us alone.
I think it would be a fascinating idea to implement permanently. As Jared mentioned, there was kind of a baby play-in 2020. I just playoff wise, like a one game NBA game, I think can turn really quick, which is what happened yesterday, and it's probably going to happen today. But man, playoff hockey, like maybe getting that opportunity where you're just going, in a 1-1 game or a 2-2 game in overtime, to get into the playoffs, and knowing you'd be playing probably the President's Cup winner, and knowing their odds historically.
Yeah, exactly. What did Jared brought up that what was he talking about? Montreal coming through. That was fun. And they got to knock off they knocked off the Leafs, right? If I'm remembering that correctly. So that's an extra bonus to doing it. I want to pull up like how deep does the NBA go?
So they do 10 teams in each conference. So it means really only the worst of the worst don't make it. So just the bottom third doesn't pay attention.
Whoops. Well, yeah, we'd still be out of it.
So it might have been a slightly different season though, right? Because if we were kind of figuring out,
right.
we got some injuries coming in, maybe we don't, become huge, sellers at the deadline. So that's really what they wanted to figure out.
That's a great question. If
make you more concerned with this season rather than the future.
Well, go back to this. I think it's an easy answer to this question. Like, would we go for it, kind of thing. I want to come back to like the conversation I was having. Oh, probably not this slide, but the slide with the percentage chances. And I was like, it makes sense. We should be in the range of the Vancouver, Detroit, Washington. That's where we should be, right? So if we're in that range and we're not at the bottom feeder range, I think all of those teams would have had a different mindset heading into the trade deadline. Although Washington was just, I don't know, they kind of operated with like a fuck it sort of attitude. So I think maybe it was just let's see how great these odds can get for Washington. I respect it. Respect the hell out of it. I don't know. I would put us then, based on that comment, like where I was going with bringing this up again, like we are outside of the bottom feeders. We're in the Vancouver, Detroit, Washington range. Speaking to the draft lottery odds, I know that Vancouver would not figure into the Eastern Conference playoffs. But that being said, you're also looking at a Steve Yzerman who's looked at this conference and said, we're in the same, let's call it generation as Ottawa and Buffalo in regards to their rebuild, and they are ahead of us. So would Steve look at this and go 10 teams? All right. Florida, I think we all knew should have been in this mix eventually. It seems like they're really coming together now. Like they're really gelling. And man, I don't know. I might lose on purpose if I was New Jersey and we were just talking about New Jersey and Carolina play or their games, meaning who wins the Metropolitan Division. I might lose so that I don't have to face Florida. And you get to face New York, who I absolutely would pick to go out in the first round. Either Carolina or New Jersey, whoever they play. I am taking the other team. Anyway. Jesus. All right. Focus, Matt. Focus. Florida, Islanders, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Ottawa. Did we think we were going to... We'd have to knock out and go above 2 of those teams, right? Because you would bring this down, the wild card would expand to right now would be Florida, New York, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and we are still underneath Ottawa. So was there enough there for Steve Yzerman to say we're going for it? I don't think so.
Well,
we were
it's
still
tough,
kind of
right?
right there with the
Because
same teams, and he said
it's
no
tough.
this
I
year.
think it's tough because we had, yeah, that's true. It was almost like he wanted to see what we did in that big test when we just couldn't score goals and then we just got completely annihilated. So it was like the 2 worst ways you could lose a hockey game. It's just offensive ineptitude and then complete defensive ineptitude.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, after that, I remember Larkin having that comment about, this team emotionally just kind of broke. And, you could tell guys are kind of hanging their heads a little bit. And that's when we went on that real, tailspin after the deadline. Loss. So, I mean, as is, yeah, I think it would have been tough to catch them right now. But if you still kind of had that hope, I think you just play a little bit differently. I think you maybe would have pushed a little bit harder. So do I still envy Ottawa's roster over ours? I'm not talking about like healthy Marco Casper. I'm talking about that roster that we had, right around the deadline. I think that's a tough one. That's it wasn't a tough one for Steve, but it's a little tougher for us.
I would say my opinion is Steve would still
make
he'd
those
still
moves.
he'd be out, yeah. But I know what you mean. Like, it's not like there isn't an argument there.
You know what
so,
I think what you would probably argue is you would take the next step the other way. I think he would make a move to even further avoid a potential NHL play-in, to sell even more if possible.
what?
Like at all costs. Move somebody else as a seller.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I would call out too, like the goal differential. Like, you look at Pittsburgh, they're -1, Buffalo's a -8, Ottawa's about -9. Of course, ours got worse, but we were always behind Ottawa and Buffalo and Pittsburgh. I mean, we just blew out a team, a week and a half ago or whatever. So it's not like the losses we just ate were beyond us. And the 5-1, the 6-1, and the 3-1, but still, it's gone the other way a couple of times in the last couple of weeks too. To your point on kind of giving up too, this was shared earlier this week by Prashant Iyer on Twitter. Actually, I think he shared it today, but people are really dogging Ville Husso. But another great example, like we talked all last season about Nedeljkovic.
Not me. Not me. That's a company man right there. He knows it's tank time. So I appreciate you, Ville.
Yeah, I think there's an element of that. I think most of it is I'm tired. This means nothing now. My GM told me we're done for this year. But when you mentioned like kind of giving up on the season, this is what I was kind of thinking when I first brought this graph in. Is a lot of people dogging Ville Husso recently, but yeah, this is an element here. I don't blame Husso at all. I'm excited that he's going to be our starting goaltender next season. Very happy to have him. But absolutely, we probably need to have somebody play a few more games and give Husso some rest and give him some meaning too. Those that'll make most of this graph red next season, and not such a huge dip there at the end. For anybody not looking, again,
completely crater. Yeah.
Just to recap too, I always forget to do this, but for the podcast listeners, we're looking at Ville Husso's cumulative goals saved above expected, and obviously they've tanked pretty hard. And let's not forget too, he was injured. How many games does he miss or playing as the Red Wings were like, he's hurt, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. What's funny is a lot of people are quick to also make the same connection. Prashant is we're making right now as you look at this graph. We made the same connection with Nedeljkovic. And I'd say he's had a fine return to Detroit since he came back. Wasn't amazing, but also surrounded by shit. So I saw this from Sneezy Weezy. 4v4 the other night, and Malone had Sherrod out there. Is he just Blash 2.0? Well, here's the thing. He's got one defensive pairing that works, and then he's got another couple of defensive pairings that eventually have to hit the ice. And Sneezy, to your point, is he Blash 2.0? In the sense that he doesn't have a ton of great choices to go with.
Yeah, and that he's playing the hand that he was dealt. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't blame Malone, and I'm not a fan of Ben Sherratt. And Sneezy Weezy, I know exactly where you're coming from. Anytime I see Sherratt on the ice, I'm a little angry. But I wonder eventually if someday we will stop looking at the benches when Sherratt's on the ice and being angry, and instead we look up to the rafters at Sting. No, it's Steve Yzerman, because that's the guy who brought him in, even though all of his previous seasons told us this is exactly what we were going to get from Ben Sherratt. But go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just going to say, Dan B, I think with another comment of the show, a little bit further back, Buffalo's picked 1, 1, 2, 4, 7 the past 6 years. That will speed things up. It sure goddamn will, Dan. Holy mackerel. Yeah, I wish we had a little bit of lottery luck. But the only spot I did want to push back a little bit is Danimals just saying how many of these teams are rebuilding for many years. We didn't break down our team until, 3 years ago. Our record really bottomed out 3 years ago. That was the nightmare season. But, I mean, we last made the playoffs in the 2015-16 season. Ousted in the first round, and then it's been pretty bleak point-wise after that. 79 points, 73, 74, 39, woo! 48, 74. And I had to listen to this in the pregame for the Tigers. They just do like a roundabout for all the Detroit teams and talk about the Red Wings have improved from last year. They're already up to 80 points with a whole game left to play, and it's like still pretty rotten, still pretty terrible. So yeah, it's been, my God, 7 years. I mean, we weren't being taken seriously in the playoffs either, for 3 years. So you're right. We absolutely bottomed out 3 years ago, but man, it's been a while. It's been a long time.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to first spend a lot of time realizing that, what Dan B's point here is Buffalo picking 1, 1, 2, 4, 7 does help quite a bit. I just you have to put the blinders on in some points to get through this. And I've at some point, I'm going to get sick of it. I think we came into this year saying well, at least we're done with these blowouts. Jeez. It didn't go away. It didn't go away at all. If not, it feels like there's more, and I haven't done any of the research to look at our 4+ goal losses. They're still here, and that's certainly there's some after the trade deadline, and we were sellers, but we all know that those games existed before the trade deadline because we were saying around Christmas oh, I guess we're done. So I don't know. This isn't the time to get into the macro look because a lot of it, I guess we're just going to keep saying has to deal with luck. So yeah, that's true. But then I don't know, what are we doing? Making ourselves a middling team. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not ready to have this conversation right now. I can just tell you guys, one of my biggest fears of going through a rebuild is turning into a team like the Minnesota Wild that really just never does anything. And Mike, if we nickel and dime ourselves into being in playoff position, God damn it all to hell, we're sniffing the Minnesota Wild.
Gradual improvement is
something.
Like you said, we've harped on it. I think a couple do we want to say weeks in a row, months in a row, years in a row?
Years.
Yeah, there's no point in floundering. Floundering is the worst thing I could think of. And I think friend of the show, Max Boltman, actually called us out about fans that are unhappy with that. And he said something about it's okay to like, kind of track year to year improvement, but those teams exist. Like you said, for Minnesota, it transcends into other sports. The ones who aren't brave enough, fortune favors the brave, as Matt Damon once told us in a crypto currency ad. So you got to be brave enough to really bottom out. I guess maybe to tie a bow on this, hats off to Husso for bottoming out. He understands.
All right, let's run a quick ad. You guys don't want to miss it. I actually Mike caught me laughing my tushy off. Yes. Yeah. It's NBA playoff time. That means big hoops action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Get in on all the excitement of every game with the touch of a button. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet and score $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Plus, everyone can score a no-sweat, same-day parlay every day during the NBA playoffs. Open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place the same game parlay on any game. If it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back up to $10. There's a bunch of NBA games coming up. Maybe we should talk to Mike about it. He seems to know all that stuff. All right. Download the app now. Sign up with the code THPN. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet and score $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700 on behalf of Blue Hill Casino and Resort Kansas. 21 and up, most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Question. Did they give that tape to you, or was that you, Matt?
So I forgot to hit the button to keep your voice at the same pitch. So I was laughing my ass off because I put that through and I was listening to it to make sure it sounded good. And I was like, sweet, Chipmunks made an appearance. All right. I'm not a fan of reading those restrictions like that. So
nobody is. That's why we rock it through them in our best chipmunk voices. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. But we did have some more Red Wing news here.
Yeah. Shout out to Dan B, Mushy Middle, Minnesota. Yawn. Danimals liked it. All right, cool.
Appreciate it, Danimals.
Sneezy Wheezy. We bottomed out and Lady Luck gave us the middle finger on lottery day. For sure. You know what? I will say this. Like we're 2 weeks away from starting our draft coverage. We're going to start at number 1. And it's because of what Sneezy Wheezy just said. And it's because at some point Luck has to turn around. I know that's not how statistics work in individual draft lotteries.
You know what? It's because we weren't brave enough. But now fortune favors the brave. Just like Matt Damon, you guys, with cryptocurrency.
Wouldn't it be nice though? Like every time you lost a draft lottery, like you coupled that in and you were like, okay, same odds, roll it again. But whatever happened this season, that's how, you know what? God damn it. That's how you fix the draft lottery. It's not just one season. It should continue to extrapolate. You should build every.
No, you know what it should be like? It should be like when you play a game in Squid Game and they put a bunch of coins in the pig. Yeah. And eventually the Red Wings are going to get their chance to pop that pig and get a bunch of coins and win that lottery. But unfortunately, we've just been getting killed during all the games. So Squid Game has not been nice to the Red Wings.
I do. But does my plan make sense, though? I'm really proud of it.
It's fun, but it's not as great as me bursting a pig full of coins.
If anybody doesn't understand, if you had the 25% as a first pick one year and then you suck again the next year, like this would be great for Arizona. Then what you do is you take the two 25%. And You're not adding them together. You're multiplying them, right? Because everybody's, I think, percentage would need to be multiplied together because everything still needs to add up to 100%. But everybody else is having a lower percentage multiplied to their number, unless, of course, they went up. It's a little confusing, but basically, these two seasons would be put together, and you would kind of increase your chances, and everybody else's chance would decrease. And then, of course, when you win the lottery, it like resets, right? For that team.
Yeah, that's where
unless
my
they
picks,
still
that's
suck.
where my picks came in. So every year it's a year-to-year accumulation of pig coins that you get every year. You get screwed in the draft.
Sure. More math. All right. Well, we don't need to do any math to talk about how much Amadeus Lombardi looks like Dylan Larkin. Oh my God.
Did we actually get? I thought Larkin had this mysterious injury, and now all of a sudden, the guy who looks exactly like him is in Grand Rapids.
Yeah,
It's a little suspect.
I'm really disappointed in myself because I wanted to bring. We have plenty of time to talk about Lombardi as his career goes on, and we absolutely will do this. But next time we talk about Lombardi, we are going to bring up some Mozart and.
Yeah, I mean, another reason to move out to Grand Rapids, get some season tickets, and I'm excited for next year in Traverse too.
Well, we have to call out a couple of things here because I think what did Lombardi won the smartest play? Here it is. The OHL coaches poll. Smartest player, Mike. Amadeus Lombardi. Pretty sweet. That's actually an award. Like, and also he's number one too, above Shane Wright. You guys remember Shane Wright?
Oh,
yeah, exactly. And then he's also number 2 in the West for best playmaker in the OHL. Mike, we've got a smart playmaker. And Amadeus Lombardi heading to Grand Rapids. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, those are cute. Hopefully it pans out into an actual NHL player. So we'll see.
He finished 3rd in the OHL scoring race with 102 points, including 45 goals. So I like the mention of the awards. Now, let me preface this by saying I hate almost all sports awards. They're just it's social media before.
Which ones do you like? The Slammies and WWE? Which
yeah. I think they're just absolutely ridiculous. And there's the wrong people are always voting. The wrong people always win. Same thing with Hall of Fame. A Hall of Fame can go screw. I don't need a Hall of Fame. I just have my feelings of who I love. Yada yada yada.
I just have my rafters and I just want Fedorov in them.
I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference when you're talking about a coach's poll.
Go ahead.
And you're talking about a coach's poll and you're asking who's the smartest player in the league. And the answer is Lombardi. I think that's something I could talk about. That's something I could get on board with and actually take that information, consume it, and
how
use
much
it.
of that is his name? If they gave all these coaches multiple choice and they saw, Bob Herbenstinken, and then the next name they saw was Amadeus Lombardi. Wow, he sounds smart. I'll just pick him.
Is that why, who do you guys think is the right answer for this? And Shane. Okay, Shane, right. Okay. Sorry, that was a terrible joke. But I was going to ask, is it the name that people voted on? Or when he was named Amadeus, named after one of the greatest... I mean, it's just I don't know if you want to say greatest geniuses.
Let me help you out here. It's a little bit like those dumb people who will name a pet before they bring it home. Or people who name their baby before they meet it. This situation, they talked to that baby, they played with that baby, and these parents figured out, my God, we have an Amadeus on our hands.
I don't understand that at all, but
did you name both of your kids before you met them?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Matt. I just,
Yeah, I
you know,
don't-
we
You
We
you
named
came
our
in
dog-
so hard with the you name your pet before you bring it home. Who gives a shit?
well, they're your name. Like, you know, we had our dog Logan. And it was like, wow, what a great noble name that is. And we owned him for 2 days. We're like, man, we should have named him Dinky because he was kind of a dum dum. So what
See,
I'm
here's the
saying is that
thing.
his parents must have popped him out and talked to him for a little bit. And like, my God, what a genius! We should name him Amadeus. You know, and he's lived up to the name and become the name.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I'm saying happened. I still don't understand where you were coming from. That's
Ooh. Dan B trying to get a Twitter poll going. Amadeus better than Falco. I don't know. Woo-hoo-hoo.
I don't understand that reference, I don't think.
Was that no, was it? I thought it was one of Wolfgang's many names. Wolfgang Amadeus something.
Oh, okay. That rings a bell, but I couldn't
Dan B
confirm
dropped
that
a
was...
little 4D chess joke in the group
Yeah.
chat today.
I that sounds right, but I couldn't tell you that was any... I couldn't confirm or deny that. Dad, you're way over my head. Good job. I did want to call out too. It is kind of neat that he's labeled as a playmaker. And we got the shot locations from the Flint Firebirds for Lombardi's play. So you guys who are not watching on YouTube, you're missing this sweet chart. This is just burning hot magma in front of the net. And this guy's making these plays because he's dipsy-doodling, if I may. Dipsy-doodling
you
around
may not,
the ice.
but we'll allow it this one time.
I think too we have a nice little replay to go over to kind of prove back up my point here on Lombardi. So we'll pull up Flint Firebirds versus Saginaw. Let's take a look. Yeah, you guys are totally missing this if you're
Make sure
not
you got it
watching on
muted,
YouTube.
man. Don't get us pulled from Spotify again.
Do you think that they
They
the
might have a
OHL
guy.
is
They
gonna be
might have
tracking this
they
stuff?
might have a volunteer out there. You never know.
So yeah, this is where the beauty of like this playmaking comes in, because we're gonna see Lombardi. Oh my god! All right, this replay blows. We're gonna
Is that
see
a replay
Lombardi
or a
taking
GIF?
Yeah, let's.
Thanks for sharing the GIF, Matt.
Yeah, no
This is really
problem.
good.
Hope everybody's having fun. All right, play. Look at that! Isn't that great? It's
Hey.
shot at 4 frames per second. Did you guys catch that?
Wow.
But yeah, this is what I'm talking about when you're talking about the smart playmaker. But he's got 45 goals, and his shot chart is just this big ball of magma in front of the net. So this guy is able to take the puck and, again, dipsy doodle, if I may, right to the net. Now, this is in the OHL. This is not, of course, against elite level defenders, but still, we like a guy that can dangle like that. We like a guy that has that instinct for the net. And this is where, like, I haven't watched this guy, right? I haven't watched every game this guy's played. I've seen replays all season. Great. Who cares? But we have expert opinions labeling him as smart. I'm just saying. I think that goes a long way.
I'd like to see. I'd like to see this coach's poll. I'd like to see the form and the options. And while you're researching what you're researching, I was just going to say to Dan B, I apologize on my half and my brother's behalf for not thinking about the song "Rock Me Amadeus." I just rewatched Adventureland. I believe it was on Paramount Plus. And probably like every 10 minutes or so, it's like when you have that hourly dead end job and they keep playing the same music over and over. Rock Me Amadeus kept playing over and over and driving all the characters nuts. So yes, I apologize for not hitting that Falco reference, but you should watch Adventureland if you get some time this weekend. And Craig, good to see you, bud. Coming in a little late. Still happy to see you.
I'm trying to find who won last year. Kind of stuff. Most improved player, smartest player. Well, Shane Wright's on there. Brant Clark. We recognize those names. Wyatt Johnson. This isn't as fun. I think I need to go back further so we can actually see if an NHL player has. I mean, a significant NHL. Geez. I don't know. Does anybody want to listen to me do this research live? Mike, do you have anything you wanted to talk about today?
Matt, I think we just had a couple more slides. I don't know how you slide number 10 is one we have to hit today because it makes me laugh. But did you want to hit on Bianca Batuka before we
Yeah, Jeremy is also aboard. He's on his tryout, so we know he had a great training. I'm sorry. He had a fun training camp because we were all enjoying his name. But yeah, I mean, it's something where I think you do earn this tryout. But yeah, I mean, you know, I saw some hyperbole, some very positive hyperbole being thrown about. Jeremy's having a tryout. Jeremy Biakabatuka, Tim Biakabatuka's son from University of Michigan.
He's the next Pavel Bure? What kind of hyperbole are we talking here, man?
Well, yeah, just, you know,
he's got the perfect game for NHL 94.
Definitely some people going like, hey, I remember seeing his name at training camp. He was amazing. Just the slow turn to the camera. He was amazing. Let's pump the brakes a little bit here. Elite prospects. Biakabatuka loves to join the rush. It's something he could continue doing. Due to his superior skating, he has a clear defensive pride, consistently judging the best defensive angles. He's engaged, keeps his head turning, is always in an athletic position. Oh, has the wingspan, not wingspan. Oh, it does say wing spam. All right, Mike, not the wingspan, the wing spam. So, of course, he's been emailing Steve Yzerman constantly to get onto the Grand Rapids Griffins roster. As he's been spamming the Wings email. Haha, you didn't react. Is that funny?
Nope.
That wasn't funny.
Nope.
That's why.
Sorry.
All right. So yeah, it's fine. Sounds like you could tell me that somebody just copy pasted Biakabatuka's name onto like a generic Elite Prospects review of any player. So yeah, I love it. I really hope Biakabatuka becomes a Red Wing because I will be the first one to buy that jersey.
Also, see you, Chewy. See you, bud. He's going bedtime.
Oh, later, Chewy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, tryout's exciting. I don't know if there's much more to add to it, Matt. And I don't know if this was just a stale slide or not, but we had was there really something for Edmondson?
Yeah. Just sort of wrapping up his season. Not bad. I enjoyed it. We already said, like, for sure, he's on the team next season. But yeah, I just wanted to show off Evolving Hockey. Kind of, we could pull up his chart. Expected goals for per 60. Top half of the league. Everything else, not so great. But this is also a guy who had to drag Sherrod around the ice. So, and all in all, this is a huge victory, I think, for Edmondson. What we could look at from his Evolving Hockey wrap-up chart.
Do you think?
But yeah, I kind of
think those numbers are going to go up when he's playing next to Severson, or how does that work?
Yeah.
All right, you heard it here first.
Yeah, isn't that why I said I wanted to? I was trying to think what was the number, but wasn't it? Didn't I say I'd be fine spending 6 or 7? Less than 7, but I'm okay in the middle 6s to bring him over. Do I still have that slide? Is that why you brought him up? Yeah, there he is. That's my boy. Oh, there he is.
Oh,
there's my right side defenseman.
Also,
totally
Joe Diamond, whose
there.
name I have not yet said today, which I don't have a good reason. He had a lot of good points today. Just dropping a few of the. He's trying to research some of the smartest players, and so it was Marco Rossi, Cole Perfetti, and to be continued.
Yep.
But
no, it's thanks, Joe, because he kind of put out there too that he was looking for the previous winners. But that's how you could judge and see if that's worthwhile to track. Carter Mazur, 6 games, 6 points so far. I mean, like next week. Here's the thing: I want to call these things out because I mean, I guess Edmondson will grade next week. Next week is the player grades by Little Caesars Pizza Items. Of course, it'll be the 3rd time we do that.
The third annual
grade.
Yeah.
Yes. of Red Wings players. So
Just
Carter
in
Mason
time,
won't
too,
fit in
because
that
Pretzel
episode.
Pizza is back, Matt.
Oh, here we go. Joe. Jason Robertson. He's a killer.
Drop of a hat.
Second in 2017, 2018. Won the
He's
smartest
as
player in
Lilligan.
OHL.
Playful as a pussycat.
That's
Love
right. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to call out Mazer playing his nuts off in the AHL, doing a great job. You know, I bet he's a bad interview. Like, I wouldn't. It's probably terrible.
Probably a really good whistler, though.
All right, so yeah, this is our opportunity to call out Carter, and of course, call out. We'll see you guys next week with our Little Caesar. I hope you all will enjoy some Little Caesars pizza with us. I want you guys to get creative with your orders and send us some pics. Send us some hot pics of your steaming gooey pizza.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make Matt really spam up the tweets because I want everybody to be having a little bit of Little Caesars while we're having our Little Caesars game. It's like my second favorite show after we piss and moan over our draft positioning show. It's right up there though.
So yeah, what is this? The 19th will be Little Caesars. So then the 26th and the 3rd, we will start our draft coverage, and then we will be live on May 8th, which is a Monday for all y'all to watch us win the draft lottery and just celebrate Connor Bedard becoming a Detroit. Would we ever? Are we going to flirt with the? Are we going to be the assholes that come out with the podcast like? Should the Red Wings take Fantilli at number 1? Like, I'm not going to do any draft coverage after we win.
Trade it for a right-hand shot D-man? Do we make a win now move?
I'm making it official right now. I will talk about is a hot dog a sandwich before we do any sort of bullshit that I know every other writer, every other podcaster will be like, oh, what about Will Smith? Oh, he's doing pretty good. No, if we win, whoever wins the draft lottery this year, they have one episode to do for the rest of the summer about the draft. And it's I can't wait for the draft. And then they never have to speak about it until the season starts and they get to watch Connor Bedard.
You know what?
You're all done?
It's going to be We the Ones. I'm going to throw those ones up, Roman Reigns style.
Oh, my God.
We're going to be the champs.
All right. We're wrapping
And then we
up.
can acknowledge Connor Bedard. I can't
Yeah.
wait. Woo!
Dork. All right. Thanks for coming aboard, everybody. We'll see you guys next week with our pizza.
Thanks, Joe Diamond. Thanks, Jared Shaw, for the Corn Cob Pizza.
Corn cob pizza?
It's on Corn Cob TV.
See you guys.
We got bodies falling out of boxes, but it's okay because they ain't got no souls.